It kind of started very innocuously. I was at a McDonald's drive-in in Chile, in a place called Antofagasta, Chile, which is up in the north. And we had been working, my friend and my worker and I, and we had stopped at McDonald's to get something to eat. And there was a man who would be called a bum, who was standing in the line yelling at the guy through the window. There was a big argument. And so I was sitting there, and I was kind of wondering, like, what's going on here? You know, we're not getting anywhere, because there was a screaming at each other. So I got out, and the man was really, you know, we have poverty here, but poverty there is a lot different. And if you've never seen poverty outside of America, you've never seen poverty. This guy, I don't think, could probably have taken a bath in years. He was in just horrible, stinking tatter. It was really bad. So I asked him, I said, excuse me, you know, what's going on? He said someone had given him some money, and he wanted to get a burger. And they wouldn't let him come into the restaurant because he was so filthy, and they wouldn't serve him through the drive-thru. And so I asked the guy in the window, I said, what's going on? He said, well, sir, we have a rule that you have to be in a car to be served in the drive-thru. So I thought, well, you know, can't we do it? No. Well, so I told the gentleman, I said, well, sir, if you'll just move aside just for a moment, I'll pull up here and I'll order your food. And then I'll get your food and I'll hand it to you. And he was like, well, he was, I only have enough food for like a hammer. I said, don't worry about it. We'll go ahead and feed you too. Don't worry about it. You know, and I asked her, and everybody was in agreement. So I did that. And again, he was really a very, very sight to look at. And so we got him a bunch of food, and we got him a bunch of extra food and this and that. And so I gave it to him. Now I'll try to get emotional, but and he was so grateful. And he was so gracious. And he put the food down, and he opened his arms. And I remember thinking, oh man, the last thing I want to do is embrace this guy. I mean, you know, it's almost like you could see the filth on him. And I remember thinking at the same time, but if I don't, everything I've done has been worthless. Because I really wanted to give him his dignity. But I didn't want to hug him. So, but I thought, you know, I'm going to do it. And so I came and gave him a big hug, and they call it an embrazo. I mean, it's like they pound your back. You know, I'm like pounding his back and dust and dirt, and I'm thinking, oh. But when I finished, I stood back, and I'll never forget his eyes. Good. His eyes were the most beautiful, blue, clear I've ever seen. And he looked me in the face, and it was the face of Jesus. And I was like, whoa. And we said a couple more pleasant. Again, and his whole manner had changed. He was just nothing but peace and tranquility and love. Even my coworker, who was not, he kind of like, man. And I got in the car. I just remember thinking, A, thank God I hugged him. B, what a lesson to remember that Christ comes to us when we least expect it. And 3, just the dignity of all of us. So that was, I believe, my biggest encounter with Christ, when I saw the face of Christ looking at me. There you go.